Shalom, family trendsetter. All praises be to the Most High Power Hashem. I'm on my way back from Atlanta, and I got to share some some experience with y'all. Please bear with me. My cargo van is empty, so normally when it's empty, you hear more noise. All right. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about, actually, before I even continue. Is it me, or I should say, is it just me, or it seems like these these half-breed, right, these hybrids and shit are losing their mind? I mean, I don't know what's going on, but it seems like there's a lot of Karen situation out there. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave a link in the description box, right, for y'all to watch this video of a police officer losing it, all because she didn't get an order from McDonald's. And the reason why I'm going to share this link with y'all, because this is supposed to be a police officer, female police officer, having a fucking breakdown because she didn't get an order. And these are the people that they have policing us. These are the people that they give a badge and a gun. So I'm going to share the link in the description. Hopefully I'm able to do so, and I want y'all to check it out after, of course, you watch this video. Alright, so a couple of things I noticed when I was in Atlanta, right? As far as the atmosphere is concerned, you can actually feel the tension between so-called white people and black people. You can feel the tension, because I stopped at a service station to get some gas, and they had two brothers sitting outside. One of them looked like they worked there. The other one, I believe, was panhandling. So I was filling up, and there was a Caucasian dude came out, white boy came out, and at the pump he was driving, I think it was a what they call that car again? A Porsche, right? An older model Porsche. So when he came out the door, the black guy said to him, "Hey, good afternoon, sir. Do you have any change you can spare?" I heard him said it. So the white guy was like, what? Just like that, real loud and shit. Like, what? So the guy hesitated, and he replied. He said, "Hey, I was asking if you got any change you can spare." And he said, "Oh." And he stopped. And I guess, I don't know if he did that to try to intimidate the black dude, or I don't know. I'm not gonna speculate as to why, but I could just hear the tension in his voice. So anyhow, he actually took out some change, not dollars, but change out of his pocket, and he handed it to the black dude, and the guy was like, thank you, and he walked back to his car, and I'm on the opposite side of the pump watching him. And you could tell like he was scared. Like you could tell like he had a lot of fear. Because see, you gotta understand something, family. The reason why they arm themselves the way they do is because they have a fear of black people. Spiritually, they know we're not like them. So they got this perpetual hatred towards us, first and foremost, but then they have this fear because they're weak. They're very weak. All right? Now, I know a lot of y'all, white people gonna get offended and shit. I'm not talking about all of y'all. I'm talking about most of y'all. Some of y'all, not most. Some of y'all are human beings. A lot of y'all are not. Y'all hybrids and shit, right? So I'm referring to those people, those species, I should say. So I'm looking at him, and now I guess he's pumping the petrol, right? He's pumping the gas, and he's shaking, like his hands are shaking. And I'm saying to myself, what is wrong with this dude? So I'm thinking, is it because, one, maybe he feel threatened because he's around now 3 black people, me from out of town, and then you have the 2 individual that's probably from the area, and he's there at the service station. And across the street they had another service station, and they had a what they call it, I think it was a McDonald's or something like that, or Burger King. It was a Burger King. And you see white people over there too. But he was literally shaking, physically shaking. And then I saw him went into his wallet, and he took out $2 bill, right? And he went over back to the guy, and he gave the guy the $2. And I'm saying to myself, what is going on here? So I didn't really know how to read it. I just took it like, okay, maybe he's really not a bad guy. He's probably decent, but because of what's going on with the riots and shit, protests in Atlanta, everybody's on pins and needles and shit, right? So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt that with the fact that twice he gave the black guy some money, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt that he's decent. He's probably a human being. Probably was a little bit intimidated by the two black guys, including myself. But he actually went over there, and I maybe he felt bad how he conducted himself, yelling at the guy, and so he went over there, and the guy was like, "Man, thank you, I really appreciate it." And as soon as he gave him the $2, I guess with the change that he gave him initially, the guy did in fact go into the store and bought one of those sandwiches. I don't know, for those of you who know what I'm talking about, like if you go to, let's say, 7-Eleven, they got those ready-made sandwiches in that little warmer and shit. So he did go in there, and I seen him come out like maybe 3-4 minutes later with a sandwich, eating it. So at least we know it wasn't for drugs. He did in fact got something to eat, and the guy still was there filling up his tank. And I felt good about that. I said, okay, at least, not like I said, not all white people are alike, but see, the ones that are not alike or doesn't exhibit white supremacy behavior, y'all need to check the ones that do. It's y'all fault. You know what I'm saying? Just like we in our community, we got to check our people from doing dumb shit, wearing their pants sagging and shit, acting stupid, got to be all loud, extra when y'all, out and about on y'all phone, doing whatever, doing the most. We got to check our people. So that's the first thing that's the first encounter that I had, which it started out negative, but it wound up being okay. You know what I mean? So I want to point that out. Okay, so the next incident, I stopped off to get something to eat, right? So I went into, I don't know these stores in down south and shit, but anyway, I went into a rest area, a service area, and I went to go get me some coffee and some donuts. And normally I try to avoid sweets because sweets, I know that is, to have sugary food is not good for you. Beverages and danishes or cookies, whatever. I try my best not to eat anything that has sugar in it. But I'm gonna be driving for a long distance. So I figured, let me go get some coffee and donut, right? So when I got into the store, I seen the donut. I didn't really like the donut because it had they have the glazed donuts and shit with sugar on it. I don't really like too much sweet. And for those of you who don't know, right, you may want to stay away from sugar, a lot of sugar, especially the ones that's not natural. If anything, use honey to sweeten your tea or whatever, because these sugary items, like you go to the store, you see 7-Eleven, they have these Slurpees and shit. You're getting 2 for 1. You're getting the big, they call it big gulp, and you have this huge container of sugary soft drinks, and that's why they push these shits. The cereal that you feed your kids in the morning got all this sugar in it, and it's not good for you. Good for your system. That's why a lot of our people are dying from this so-called coronavirus, which I don't believe this shit, but okay, you know what I mean, because we're unhealthy. So anyway, when I went in there, I decided, you know what, I actually picked up the donut. It was in like some little round munchkin donut in a little plastic package, and I picked it up initially, but I saw all that sugar and I got turned off, so I put it back. and I noticed, sometimes you can just feel people watching you and shit. So I turned around, but not like turn around right away, but I gradually turned around after I got the coffee, and I noticed they had this one Caucasian dude was looking at me. He had his mask on. I didn't go in there with a mask because down here, believe it or not, you don't have to wear a mask. I see a lot of people without masks going in and out. The only thing that they ask, if you have any kind of symptoms, don't come into the store. So anyway, I turn around, I see one of the Caucasian dudes like literally staring at me, watching me. And there was other people in the store, there was other black people in the store, but he was watching me. And I'm like, what the fuck, why is this dude watching me and shit, right? And there was another one, he was, I guess, putting up cigarettes or whatever, stacking the back of the counter. So, I got the coffee and I walked up and I was like next in line. And the gentleman that was, I'm gonna call him a gentleman, he was actually Caucasian as well, right? He turned around, glanced at me. He saw that I was waiting, and he stopped what he was doing, put the cigarette down, whatever, and he came. He said, "Hey, can I help you?" Very cordial. And I went over to him. I said, "Yeah, I'm paying for this." And I asked him how much it was. He told me. And he said to me, just like he said, "Hey, how's your day going?" I said, "Oh, thanks for asking. It's going very well. How about you?" And he's like, "Good, good." So, he told me how much the coffee was, and it was like a couple of cents, like 2 cents, and I was looking for the two pennies. He's like, "Don't worry about it, man. Just, it's okay. I'll take it. Don't worry about it." Very, very cordial. And I have a tendency, like, whenever I give a Caucasian or Asian and shit money, I usually put their shit down, because a lot of time when I hand them money, they don't hand the shit back to me. They put the shit on the counter. So I usually have a tendency putting the money down on the counter and let them pick that shit up, right? But in this case, I handed him the money, and I was expecting him to do the same, like put the money on the counter. And he actually, was stretching forth to hand me the money, but I didn't take it right away, because like I said, I'm so used to them being disrespectful while putting the money on the counter for us to get it. I'm sure many of y'all experienced that shit. And I waited for like 2 seconds, and he was actually patiently waiting for me to receive the money. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry," and I stretched forth my hand. And I've seen situations too where they'll put the money in your hand, but they won't touch you. They'll drop the change in your hand. So he actually placed the $5. Well, I gave him $5 bill, and he gave me the the difference in dollars. And he actually placed the money in my hand. Actually touched my hand, and I felt so I felt uncomfortable and shit, because like I said, I'm not used to them being that way with me anyway. And after he gave me the money, I said, "Hey, I said I really appreciate you. Thanks a lot." And he looked at me. He said, "I really appreciate your business too." And the reason why I went the extra mile by saying what I said, because again, it's not often you get that kind of that kind of behavior, that kind of what the fuck I'm trying to say, right? Goddamn. But anyway, you know what I mean? They didn't, not oftentimes they receive us in that way. And I just felt real comfortable with this guy. Like, wow, damn. Because whenever I'm around my enemy, I'm always like, on the defense and shit, ready to, defend myself, because I know who my enemies are. But for some reason, this dude, man, was like, it's almost like the Most High showing me, like, not all of them are alike. You cannot judge a book by the cover. And this is like I'm gonna be honest with you, this is like the first time that I really agree with my wife when she say, you can't judge them all. Because I'm like, man, you got to judge them all. You know what I mean? But I was taken back, fam. I was taken back. All right, now I'm not getting soft on y'all, because I still don't trust these motherfuckers. And you know what? For what it's worth, I'm going to give all praises to the Most High for this encounter. Fuck that. Know what I mean? I think that the Most High is stirring up their spirit. I think, family, they know something we don't know. And this is one of the reasons why I'm going to share that video that I told you about, that woman that police officer, woman cop having a breakdown, because I think they know that they're on their way out. Like, it's almost like they know that their time is up. You know what I'm saying? We got next. And I don't know. It's so weird, because what they're doing, they marching, protesting, of course, rioting too, on our behalf. And I'm like, there's a lot of change that's coming. Gradual change that's actually coming. Of course, our people still getting gunned down, and I believe it's the Most High will. He's going to use the wicked ones to get rid of the wicked people. He's not going to use righteous people to deal with wicked people. He's going to use unrighteous people to deal with unrighteous people. So I believe some of our people that's actually being destroyed, gunned down, still getting, persecuted by the enemy, is because, maybe the Most High is purging the wicked people from amongst us. But I just wanted to share that, with y'all, because I'm like, me driving through Atlanta, and now I'm actually in North Carolina. Actually, nope, South Carolina still. I could feel the tension. It's like, it doesn't feel like when I used to drive to Florida on vacation. I used to love driving, from New York, or when I moved to Maryland, from Maryland to Florida. I enjoyed the trip, because even though I know, white supremacists were still there and shit, right? These devils were still there, Karens were still there, but I didn't feel the way I feel today. It's like now I'm much more alert and shit. I'm always on my guard. I'm just looking for that so-called police officer, that slave patrol, to pull me over to fuck with me because I got out of state plate. You know, I'm just waiting for that to happen. So I'm more on guard. But I guess what I want to say, family, is that, man, I think there's a shift in the air. Things is changing. Actually, what it said, welcome to Rowan County. Okay, I'm still probably in South Carolina. But there's a shift. There's a shift definitely taking place. And, you know, I think that, you know, the Most High now is putting a spirit on these devils to self-destruct. As I told y'all in past video, that I believe that there's going to be a world leader that's going to succumb to death and shit, you know what I'm saying? I personally believe there's based on the vision that I've received the other day. I think there's going to be a world leader that's going to, you know, die, you know, pass on and shit. Gonna be, you know, just fucking, I want to say something else, but this person is gonna meet their demise. How about that? You know what I mean? Just stay tuned for that. But anyway, I just want to share that shit with y'all, man. Let me know what y'all think. Have y'all been experienced like where you feel like there's a shift? Like you feel like, you see, because we're not really used to this shit. We're not used to white folks, you know, marching on our behalf. I mean, just think about what, 2019, a year ago to today and shit. We never had nobody speaking up on it. I mean, yeah, you may have the one or two that, you know, march with Black Lives Matter, but I'm just talking about like the way how they've been going hard worldwide. Like, you know, it's kind of like, it feels funny to me and shit. Like, it's hard for me to be receptive to it because I'm not used to this shit. You know, is this just me? You know, are y'all experiencing what I'm experiencing? I mean, it's a good thing, but damn, you know, when that's just like, you know, a hungry dog getting a big ass steak. As much as he's hungry, he's like, God damn, am I supposed to really be eating this shit? Because, you know, if you're hungry and you eat a big meal, it's not really good to eat a big portion. You got to eat it little by little. But, you know, that's how I feel. Like, this shit is overwhelming right now. But anyway, I just want to share this with this experience with y'all. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section. Are y'all experiencing what I'm experiencing, family? Do y'all see what I'm seeing? That these devils are more receptive to us, even if they don't want to. Reluctantly, they're probably doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High put the spirit, you know, upon them. Because remember, the 400-year prophecy has fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? Remember I told y'all that after the 400 years, you know, it's going to be a whole different scenario. We wait for our reparation, but the reparation is not going to come, I don't believe, in the form of money anyway. You know, yes, we're going to get some kind of probably, you know, reparation as far as money is concerned, but it's not going to be to the tune of the dollar amount that we're asking for. I think it's going to be more, you know, it's going to be, they're going to give us more than just reparation. You know what I mean? Worldwide too. And they're going to say to themselves, they're going to be like, wow, all along we've been fucking with the children of Israel, the true chosen people of the Most High. Because see, this is the way I look at it. I'm about to end this video. The way I look at it is like this, right? In order for us to acknowledge the Most High in a supernatural way, he has to literally lift up the underdog. It's almost like if you go to a horse race, right? Let's say you gamble and there's two horses. You got the champion, the horse that usually wins, and then you got this new horse, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna put a lot more on that new horse because, you know, that new horse, they literally, they're undermining this horse, and you go ahead and you put money on that horse, and that horse actually win. You know, that you know, people gonna be like, damn, how did you know? So the Most High is gonna use Yahshua. He's gonna use the people that's on the bottom of the bottom, so-called black people, and he's gonna present to the whole wide world that these are my people. Because see, they expect, it's kind of like the story of Jesus, right? When I used to believe that shit, right? When Jesus came into Nazareth, that nigga rode in on a donkey. They expect the king of the Jews and shit, right, to ride in on a fucking stallion, you know, with a crown on his head. He came in on a and that's why to a degree I like the story, some of the stories in the New Testament, because it's metaphors. It's all metaphors, and you know what I'm saying, similitudes, metaphor, you know, just parables and shit. It's not nothing literal, and it's just telling you that, you know, you have to humble yourself. And I like the story when he rode into the motherfucker on a donkey, and that's what it is. With Israel, with black people, they're gonna be like, damn, these are the chosen people. All the material wealth that they have, the houses, the cars, the money, the yachts, the Bugattis, the Bentleys, all that shit ain't gonna mean nothing when they see the Most High crown us, family. You know how you watch these superpower shows, right? Like X-Men and Superman and all that, and they have powers. They depict themselves as being the superhero. When the Most High crown us with the glory, right, of who we, like, literally just strip us from this earthly meat suit and give us this heavenly glorious body that they talk about, and they realize that they are not a part of this shit. Like, all along they've been worshiping their God, Jesus the Christ, or God, or whoever the fuck God is in the Bible, because I don't rock with the God in the Biblos Bible, at least not in the New Testament. Maybe in the Old Testament, because I know there's two different quote-unquote God in the Helio-Biblos. The God of the Hebrews, because remember that God, according to them, said he only have a chosen people. He only chose one group of the family of the earth, the Hebrew Israelites. So if he chose only one group of people, which means that he didn't choose the rest of y'all motherfuckers. So how is it that now y'all are praying to our God that didn't choose y'all? And then y'all said, well, Jesus came to die for everybody, and you got Paul came for the Gentiles, or okay, whatever, right? So when they realize, family, who we really are, when the saints come marching in and shit, and we get our glorified body and supernatural powers, and, you know, leaping on buildings and flying, literally flying and shit, and lifting up motherfucking cars, and they're gonna be like, whoa, because that's gonna happen. All these shit that you see in the movies, on TV, that depicts superheroes, that's us. That's us, family. But you know how they do. They like to steal. They're like culture bandits and shit. They steal people's shit, you know, take on people's identity. That's what they do. But I'm telling you, family, stay tuned, because it's coming. Yeah, I know y'all been hearing this shit, you know, for a long time, but it's coming. Our redemption is nigh. And with that, I say shalom.